I would say part of the reason, a decent sized part of the reason I'm still in Chicago is like our community.
Yeah.
And so like I'm very blessed that the people I work with are also people that are like in my community and people who are encouraging me, lifting me up and my faith and like encouraging me to grow deeper. And so it's kind of crazy because it's like I'll go coach with somebody in the afternoon and in the evening like they'll be back at my house and we'll be playing board games together and stuff. And so I'm very blessed to work with other believers who love Jesus and who really like just really enjoy our community and really see the importance of like a good Christian community. And that doesn't mean that we don't have conflicts. Like in true Christian community, there's conflicts. But
absolutely.
Like
there wasn't that be concerning.
Yeah, no, exactly, right. And so there's conflicts, but we're able to work through those because we aren't only coworkers, but we're friends, and we spend time with one another in and out of the office and on the field and off the field, which is cool.
That's interesting that you mentioned that, Tim. You might not know the answer to this, and you kind of already did answer it, though, but it's unfortunate. I don't know. I don't have any firsthand experience, per se, but I hear, even just recently, I was talking to a buddy of mine. I'll leave his name anonymous and the organization anonymous, but it was this talk, and we were talking, and there was a kind of an appearance of a missionary organization that did not have that camaraderie amongst staff, which kind of blows my mind because, right, being a missionary is like, I mean, not that there's levels of Christianity, but I feel like that's like varsity level. Like missionary is like, you're really like gung-ho, all for the Lord type thing, super spiritual, obviously not trying to stereotype, but like, but you hear there's so much conflict with these, like not healthy conflict, like bad, toxic conflict amongst the missionaries. And it's just like, man, what's going on, right? And then you see in churches, obviously in churches it happens a lot more, right? Unfortunately. And it's just like, man, how can we have that camaraderie? So I'm just curious. So it all, in my opinion, all comes down to how you build culture in your team. And this could be another whole probably conversation for another episode of Thrive and Dive, so we don't necessarily have to get into all of it. But what do you think is the secret sauce to how you guys are gelling so nicely? You kind of shared it already in terms of the community aspect of it, but what do you think, just right off the head?
Yeah, I think that like it is truly us realizing that like we are sinners and we are like all don't deserve the love of Jesus, and like God has called us into this, but we aren't perfect and we don't have all the answers and we're gonna mess up. And realizing like when somebody messes up in the ministry, it's not, majority of the time it's not them like trying to, or when something goes wrong, it's not them like wanting to go wrong, it's like them just making a mistake. And we have like a lot of grace for one another and realizing like I'm not perfect, and really like am I the most qualified person to be doing what we're doing? Probably not, but because I have a relationship with Jesus, that makes me qualified, because he's the one who's doing the actual ministry. So I think there's a lot of grace, there's a lot of patience, and also just realizing like we're all sinners and we're saved by grace.
Wow, so grace, patience, and you're not gonna say it, but humility.
Yeah.
Right. When you have to talk about humility, you're not really humble. So it's kind of it's like don't talk about humility.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
For sure.
But from what I see, it seems like you guys are humble about it. Right. You realize that you're not the expert all the time. You realize that you do make mistakes, and if you're not humble, then it's gonna be hard to gel well. It's hard to gel well with a prideful person.
And I would say like too, it comes down to leadership. Leadership's really important. Like our office director has done a fantastic job of getting the right people in the room, and realizing like there are like toxic people, and there are those people who can bring a culture down. Like making sure that like early on the right people are in the room.
Good. Or helping the toxic people either change their ways or respectfully saying, hey, this isn't the place for you, type thing. That's good.